Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a teardown of this Milwaukee 4.5-inch angle grinder. This would be model 6130-33. So a couple of things we're going to be looking at today, and I will be replacing the bearing in the rear end of the angle grinder. The one in the front is fine. And the brushes were also fine. I've already taken this apart. So I'll just show you what you'll need. Pair of needle nose would be nice. 3/8 wrench. A pick is always handy. And this is a T20 Torx. That's all you'll need to peel this thing apart. Oh, also, just a little scraper. You'll see later. So we'll start by taking off the cap on the rear here. Also, safety first. Make sure the thing is unplugged. So right now we're going to take the brushes out. So one screw at the back right here. Put that in the tray so we don't lose it. And we're in. I'll just take the pick right here, and we have the brush retainer spring. We'll just pull that right up and set it off to the side. Spin it around to the other side, pull that up, put it aside. And now your brushes are free. So if you have to change your brushes, it's as easy as just pulling them off, right off the contacts there. Oh, well, they're on there better than I thought. But yeah, get the pick on there, and that's it. But we're going to put that back on. And we're just going to remove the brushes for now, because in order to take the in order to replace the bearings, we have to pull the entire rotor out. So I'll do the same thing to the side, get the brush right up out of there, right out of the way. And at that point, you can just replace them if you need to, but these are fine. So the next thing you'll have to do is take off this safety shield here. So just take it, spin it all the way around. Oh, how does it go here? Oh, yeah, we'll have to take these off too. And you're in. We'll take these 4 screws off the face right here. Okay, now that it's off, we should be able to just pull it right out. Now you'll notice that, yeah, I did not have my camera with me when I took off the old bearing, but it was completely seized and heating up to the point where it was black. So the bearing at the back is a size 696Z, and here it is right here. It's a really, really small bearing. Okay, and to get to the one in the front over here, it's a little bit more complicated. What we have to do is actually take apart the gearing up here. So we'll get into that. There you go. You can see there's a little rubber O-ring that goes all the way around there. And that's what makes your seal. If you look here, there isn't much grease getting onto this the face of this gear. So I hopefully this is a really high quality grease that's in here, because yeah, that's drier than a popcorn's fart right there. It's no good. So we'll set that aside for right now. We don't need to do anything with that. What we need to do is take that nut off right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rotor and put that right into the vise. And obviously you got to use like a piece of wood or something, or some non-marring whatever. Put the minimum amount of pressure on this as possible. So at this point we'll have to get the 3/8 wrench in there. Okay, so very important, non-marring vise. Something here, you don't want to crush this. You also don't want to give it any more pressure than you have to. Just put the bare minimum. If you need more pressure, just add it as you need it. And this is not left-hand tread, so just loosen it off. And that's it. Oh, it's getting stuck. Move it up. Now there's a piece of metal on the underside that's retaining this in place. So I'll show you that real quick. After you get that nut off and the ring out, this just slides right out. Then we got to get our T20 in there again and take these 2 screws off to get to this bearing here. Oh, another thing. Very important. Don't lose that washer. Put it right back on the shaft there before you forget about it. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with this bearing here that's in place here. So I'm not going to be changing that today. I'm only going to be changing the small one that goes on the rear end here. So that's it right there. That's a 627Z. I don't know if you can see that. But, yeah, we'll start the reassembly now. So now we have to put this new bearing back on this shaft over here. So again, I will probably put it back in the vise and just very carefully with a block of wood pound it on. So I got it started a little bit here, keeping it nice and flat. We'll try with the block of wood first. It's working great. Still have a little ways to go yet. I don't know if you've noticed, but what I have is a block of wood underneath here so that the threads don't get marred on the other end. And also I'm using just a tiny hammer. I don't want to do any damage to it. So that seems okay. I think we'll try that. We'll see. I'll just give it an extra couple of taps just for fun. Okay, that seems okay. So now it's ready to reassemble and test. Now the rotor's all set. One thing I did notice about this is that the rotor's epoxied on this side, but it's not epoxied on that side. And also, this roller bearing is very, very small compared to other angle grinders I've taken apart. And it's not really surprising to me that it crapped out like it did. But anyway, we'll fix it anyway. So once again, let's not forget that washer. Very important. These are just like that. It goes right through like that. What the... Okay. So now we got the threads there. I'm going to grab my needle nose pliers. So it's threading on now. What I will do is take this back to the vise and put the rotor in the non-marring vise and just give this a good tight snug with the 3/8 wrench. So that seems all right. Now we have to put this rubber cap back on before we stick it back into the body of the grinder here. So that goes on just like that. Remember, brushes need to be out, so keep that in mind. Seems to have gone in there. Seems to be rolling fine. Oh, greasy finger. Now we can put the screws back in. Coarse threaded ones go into the body of the grinder, in case you forgot there. I'm going to take some time here just to reintroduce some of this grease onto this gear right here. Hopefully it'll continue to do so as it's running. But, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed to see that this gear was so dry when I took it apart. It should be enough. Make sure everything aligns. Give it a good little spin. Sounds good. Now we are going to put the brushes back in. So here we are. The retaining springs there. Give it a little spin. Sounds good. Put on the last screw there. Oh. Now the shield goes back on. There's a little indexing pin right here. That goes right into that slot. That's good. Well, we'll see if that new bearing replacement will work. Make sure it's off before I put it on. Seems good. We'll have to test it out at work. So that's my video, but I will give you my 2 cents on this angle grinder here. First off, I guess I'll start with the things I do like about it. Right over here on the switch, there's a good detent there. So, you know, after turning it on and off a million times, it seems like it'll still be there. Another thing I like about it is that it's small, so you can get your hand around it pretty good and get a good grip. The things I don't like about this grinder is that, like, what I do for a living is I repoint a lot of buildings, so that involves putting in a big diamond blade in here and just basically grinding out walls. And because of where the air comes out of this thing, it basically blasts you in the face with dust sometime. Whereas most of the other angle grinders will vent out the front over here, which is a really nice option. And this way here you don't get pelted. And if you're using it at its full potential, it does tend to get pretty hot in the hands, which is not good news. Because as you know, the hotter a tool gets, usually the shorter it lives. So, not a bad little grinder, but I think its days of doing masonry work are over with. I'll just use this to, you know, maybe just cut the occasional little piece of metal or whatnot. So that's it. Thanks for watching.